What's up guys, in this video we're going to explain the flake epidemic that is sweeping across Miami. I'm going to give you my theories on why it's happening and more importantly, some potential solutions that you can use to do something about it. So what do I mean by flake epidemic? Well, it simply means that women and people in general are simply being extremely fucking flaky nowadays. They might be thinking like, dude, but like people have always been flaking. Yes, but it's getting progressively worse and worse every year, and this year is just the flakiest year I have ever seen. They might be thinking, okay, but like how bad are we talking here? I did a little bit of mathematics on this, and I would say that there's something like a 90% flake rate going on right now. So that means that if I set up 10 dates, one of them will show up. So if I want to, for example, hook up with 3 girls a week, I have to set up 30 dates, or at least be talking to 30 girls. The flake rate is really bad. It's not just happening in Miami. It's happening in a lot of major cities across the U.S. It's happening in cities like LA, San Francisco, New York to a smaller extent, but really the southern cities. Okay, that leads us to the next question. Why? Why are they so fucking flaky? And the answer is actually quite simple. It's the sexual marketplace. So what's been happening for the last 10 years is as the world has become more and more digital, chicks, who are used to just getting hit up with guys in their local area are now getting hit up by guys all across the world. The amount of options your average girl in Miami has is insane. You're competing against DJs, celebrities, athletes, guys who have boats, guys who have houses, guys who have, airplanes, guys who are fucking vice president of the US. Like, there's so many different people who are hitting up the same exact girl, which gives the girl a shitload of options. Now, that might seem like a good thing from the girl's perspective, but it's almost not, because what happens quite often is the girl gets buyer's fatigue, where she has so many options, she gets overwhelmed and she winds up just sitting at home and watching Gossip Girls. And this is something very common. So we did a little experiment. We created a profile as an attractive girl and as an average girl, and then we created a profile as an attractive guy and average guy. So the attractive girl got 1,000 likes in 24 hours. Okay, that's a lot. The average girl got 500 likes in 24 hours. Now, how much did the male model looking guy get? He got 130 likes in 24 hours. So that means an extremely average girl still does 4 times better than a male model looking guy. And compare that to the average guy who got 30 likes, it's not even in the same playing field. So when chicks get bombarded with options like this, you get a flake epidemic. Now, if you go to places like Eastern Europe or South America, it's a lot less flaky, simply because the sexual marketplace is a lot more balanced. Yes, of course, in Eastern Europe and South America, chicks still have more options than guys, but it's not as outrageously out of balance as it is in Miami. So let's take a look at some examples to really drive this point home. And this is basically what every guy deals with, right? So this is a girl who's talking from Tinder, and she says, "Hey, Alex, good to hear from you." So I'm like, "So I look like you're kind of fun," you say. She said that on the app. She says, "Would you agree?" I say, "Absolutely." "Nice, well, let's hook up." So she's the one that wants to hook up with me. So here we're just coordinating logistics. I say, "What evenings are you free?" We plan it. Then, day of the day, I re-engage. "Hey girl, happy Wednesday. Happy hump day to you too. Thanks, still good for tonight. Should be. What do you want to do? Do you like wine?" "Very much. Let's split a ball on my romantic balcony." Now you might be thinking it's a little forward. Yes, but she said, "Let's hook up." So this is a sexual thing. "Hey, need a rain check. Sorry, short staff tonight. So I have to stay until 11. I said, "Breaking my heart," insert her name. "Sorry, not real happy myself." So then we rescheduled for Friday. So she was out of town, and I hit her up on Friday, make it back to Miami yet? "Yeah, just got in." "Good, it just hasn't been here the same without you." No response. Then I hit her up the next day. "You still interested in meeting up?" No response. Wait a few days. "I genuinely didn't take you for the flaky type." No response. Wait another week. And I just throw this out there as a haymaker. I legitimately just curious, why go through all the trouble of asking, hang out, rescheduling, only to randomly disappear? "You're right, sorry, I actually met someone that night, kind of into him." So again, this is simply just bad luck. Again, when a girl who is pretty like her has a bazillion options, even if you have a really good game and you do everything to optimize your chances, you're still playing low odds. Let's take a look at another example. So, "Hey, it's Alex from The Thing. Hey, Alex, sorry I missed your call. I'm actually in a meeting right now." "All good. I was actually just trying to save your number." So you can see she's pretty invested. Like, this is a conversation that she's into. So she's like, "Ooh, something else for me to ask you. My usual bedtime is around 10:30, 11. Do you think you can fit me in before that?" So I'm trying to be calm, like, "Yeah, how's 10:30? I'll be done by then." She doesn't respond. I say, "Don't think too hard now." No response. Send her a skeleton meme. No response. "I generally take you for the flaky type." No response. So again, no real reason. I didn't do anything wrong. but simply too many options and someone else got there before me. And here's another one. This one's even more simple. Hey, it's Alex from The Thing. Aha, hey, Alex from The Thing, what's up? Send her a cute picture of Rhaegar. Oh, not much, just hang out with this guy, no response. Well, by the cuteness, no response. Are you always this talkative? No response. I generally didn't take you for the flaky type, no response. So this is the other end of the spectrum. Now on this channel, I've shown you videos where a girl is super flaky or super, ghosting me. I'm able to overcome that. And it does happen sometimes. But quite often you get situations like this where you do everything right, but it still doesn't work out simply because the sexual marketplace is extremely, extremely skewed. So now let's talk about what can you do about it. What are some solutions at your disposal? And I'm just going to be brutally honest. Here are the options as I see them. Number one, move to a different city. So move to, let's say Philadelphia, move to Pittsburgh, move to Cincinnati, move to second-tier cities. And those cities, you're going to have a lot better selection because all the high-value guys, they typically move out of the second-tier cities, while girls are more reluctant to move because they're more tied to their family. So when you go to a second or third tier city, you're going to have much better sexual economics. Now, obviously, why the fuck would anyone want to live there? That's another question. You could also move to Eastern Europe. You can move to South America. So that's the first option. It's not practical for a lot of people, but something a lot of people do. They just simply get tired of the fucked up sexual economics and they move to a different city. Number two, grind it out. So this is the strategy that I utilized for years. So this basically means is that you play the game, you run the numbers, you talk to a bunch of girls, and you will succeed. It just takes a lot of work because you have to juggle a bunch of conversations. So on top of doing everything right and optimizing your game, you still run very high volume. You collect leads from, let's call them leads from dating apps, from Instagram, from cold approach, from parties, and then you have enough leads in the pipeline, and then you can get dates. Most of those dates will flake, but you'll still get some, and you will get those, and it will eventually work out as long as you put enough reps. Again, the problem with this strategy, it's very time consuming. Number three, become a sugar daddy. So this is basically where you low-key pay for sex. Now, this is not something I would personally ever do, but unfortunately, it is a strategy that a lot of guys utilize. They just simply get tired of the game. They're like, fuck, like these chicks are super flaky, but if I pay them, $500, they will show up, right? Or at least most of the time. So this is a strategy that some guys utilize. I personally do not advise it. Number four, pretend to be a sugar daddy. So this is called Salt Daddy game, and this is a topic for another day. But this is also a strategy. It can work. It is very, very, let's just say, grueling on your soul, but it is a strategy that some guys utilize. Number five is going to be simply to become famous, gain status. Now you might be thinking like, what the fuck? I know. It's one of those things that's easier said than done by, a 20th degree. But if you become a guy who has, some level of clout, then you can counterbalance the fucked up sexual economics. Because if you have a blue check mark on Instagram, you have a million followers, right? Then you are in a different class of guy, and a lot of girls will be going for that. And those are literally the 5 options at your disposal. So grind it out, move to a different city, become a sugar daddy, be a salt daddy, or become famous, right? And you can also utilize a combination of these strategies. So you can grind it out, travel to a different city when you can, work on increasing your status, blah, blah, blah. Now, the one other thing I will add to this is that you can slowly increase the sexual economics in your favor by improving your sexual market value. So these are things like going to the gym, getting muscle, getting better style, getting better fashion, getting better hair, which is what I'm doing right now. A lot of different things you can do, but that will only play so much of a role. All right, so in conclusion, are we all fucked? And the short answer is no. There's definitely still some hope. Now, unfortunately, things have gotten more flaky, as I mentioned earlier, and just becomes this vicious cycle because a girl flakes on a guy, so a guy has to schedule multiple dates. Let's say he schedules 5 dates, and for some reason, 3 of the girls show up. Now he has to flake on 2 of them, so 2 girls feel scorned, so they become more flaky, and on the flake cycle spins. This is why I so much prefer dating in Eastern Europe, because there, when you make plans with someone, they show up on time. You have to play all these weird games. But again, some practical solutions or things that I mentioned earlier. You want to take a diverse strategy. Try to focus on really maximizing your sexual market value. If you go from being a 6 to being a 7.5, which can be realistically accomplished with the right fitness plan and style, you will decrease the number of flakes you get, and you will increase the number of leads that you have coming in. Another thing is you want to diversify. So go on Tinder, go on Bumble, go on Hinge, go on Instagram, do day game, night game, meet girls at bars, meet girls through friends, right? Have a lot of leads coming in. Get better at screening, right? Get better at looking for girls who are actually time wasters, who are not serious about meeting, and removing those as potential candidates, right? You want to run high volume, be very good at screening, very good at picking up and optimizing all the things in your favor. And if all else fails, just move to Colombia. Hopefully you guys found this video valuable. Show us some love by smashing the like button, hitting subscribe, and clicking the bell for notification. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time.